Hi everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today is the day. We're finally here. We're finally concluding a journey that ended up being more fulfilling to me as a reader than I could have ever possibly imagined. And I am talking about Ship of Destiny, the third and final book in the Liveship Traders trilogy written by Robin Hobb. I don't even know what to say. Ship of Destiny is the third and final book in the Liveship Traders trilogy written by Robin Hobb. It is actually the second set of trilogies in her entire Realm of the Elderling series. If you haven't seen my spoiler-free review of Ship of Magic, if you haven't seen my spoiler-free review of Mad Ship, I strongly encourage you to check both of those out because those are your starting points. Once again, it's going to be a little bit difficult to do this as a spoiler-free review considering this is the third book of a trilogy, but I think we can do this. I think we can do this together. So, Ship of Destiny starts off with Bingtown is in complete chaos. The harbor is on fire. People have disappeared. People are being killed. There's looters. There's rioting. There are actual battles for control of the harbor. And it's a mess. It's a mess. Chaos has completely erupted and the Vestrits have gone missing. The people who have remained in Bingtown are trying to gain control of the little pockets left in Bingtown. So in the midst of all this chaos, Ronica Vestrit has been labeled as a traitor, but she is a part of a little bit of an underground resistance to bring the factions of Bingtown together, to declare independence from Jamalia, and to create a unified peace among both the old traders and the new traders, but also to include the factions of Bingtown that have long been oppressed, including the slaves that have been brought over from Jamalia, as well as the Three Ships families, who were the fishing families that settled in Bingtown, but have long been excluded from the trading councils and the rules that have been set forth as a part of this sea-land trading life. Now, as far as where the rest of the Vestrits have run off to, they have run off to the Rainwilds to seek refuge among the Rainwild traders. Malta has actually gone missing from the remaining of the Vestrit family. We follow along with Althea Brashen, Paragon, and crew. We follow along with Rintro and Captain Kennett. And of course, it all culminates together in an amazing maritime battle with sea serpents, dragons, and live ships. Once again, the world building in Ship of Destiny just builds off of the knowledge that we already have from Bingtown and our live ships, as well as the Rainwilds, but we do get some more bits of the culture on this side of the Cursed Shores. We spend some time with the satrap of Jamalia. We spend some time with Chalcedean mercenaries, and we also spend some time with the dragons and learning about the culture of the dragons, learning about the culture of these mercenaries and the culture of Jamalia and the satrap. And so you would think by the time we get to book number 3 that there wouldn't be that much to add on to the world building, but that's not the case at all. Every bit and piece that is introduced in this book is also concluded in this book, as well as all the ties from the 2 books before it. So once again, the world building is top-notch and I love it. I love it. The characters that we get to spend time with, of course, our regular cast of characters of the Vestrits, Captain Kennett, and our live ships, our main live ships, Paragon Vivacia, a little bit of Ophelia. Some of the new characters that we are introduced to and get to spend a little bit of time with include Selden Haven. Selden is actually the youngest brother of Malta and Wintro. We don't really see him a lot in the first 2 books. He's just kind of, we know he's there as Malta's young annoying little brother who kind of runs off on his own, but we don't really get to spend any time with him until the very end of Mad Ship. And then of course, continuing on through this book, he brings that like childlike purity. His goal is a team goal. His thoughts and the things that he is fighting for are not bogged down by all of the adult problems that plague the rest of our cast of characters. And so Selden has been really fun to get to know inside Ship of Destiny. We do also get to spend a lot of time with the satrap of Jamalia. The satrap was introduced again at the very end of Mad Ship, and we spend a lot of time with him. What do the people really think of him? Is he the satrap that he always thought that he was? Can he make improvements for the future? He's a lot a bit spoiled, and he's young, and he is questioned every step that he takes. He doesn't know how to manage his thoughts and his anger and his frustrations. He's been really entertaining as a character to get to know. We also spend some time with the Three Ships families, and they're very brief moments that we get to spend with the Three Ships families inside Bingtown, but I think it's a really important cultural bit of Bingtown to get to know that there are these oppressed peoples within Bingtown, not just in society, but also outcasts of society as well. They kind of straddle a fine line. We get to see more of the slaves, the freed slaves or the escaped slaves inside Bingtown. And it's been a refreshing look at the Bingtown that we thought we knew, and we get to see the other bits of Bingtown that we had never considered before, because all of the bits of Bingtown that we get are from a very privileged perspective as an old trading family like the Vestrits. And the final character that we get to spend a lot of time with inside Ship of Destiny is Tintalia the dragon. This was a really interesting take on dragon lore for me. The evolution and the life cycle of a dragon is explored in great detail in this book, but also the thoughts of a dragon who realizes she might be the only remaining dragon. Her thoughts and her vanity of how people should treat her. But since Tintalia, has the memories of the dragons, and she is seeking to restore the dragons to the world, she's a very big picture thinker. She doesn't care about the dramas that the humans are facing, sometimes to her detriment, sometimes to the detriment of the human companions that she is with, because she is thinking so big picture that she doesn't even care about the life cycle of a human. She's caring about restoring her race to the world. And it's a really interesting take on dragon lore, especially the life cycle of a dragon. And I think if you like dragons, you should be really pleased with the dragon that we meet inside this book. Now, there is also a bit of storytelling that I feel must be addressed inside the spoiler-free review, as well as my spoilery discussion. So if you have read this book and you want to see my theories on this particular bit of storytelling that Robin Hobb does, please go ahead and check out my spoiler review. I have a theory on this. I do believe it's important for us to discuss that there are very graphic scenes of sexual violence. There is a rape of a character in this book told in graphic detail, but we spend a lot of time on the aftermath and the effects that it has on these two characters. What Robin Hobb does is excels at her character work. And I feel like it's important to mention that this does happen inside this book, because there are a lot of people out there who will throw a book aside and be done with it, because a lot of people might feel that they're sick of this trope within fantasy books, or with any book really, that rape is used as a plot device to just bring the story forward. I don't believe that is the case within Ship of Destiny. Because Robin Hobb spends so much time on her character work and her character development, a lot of what the rape scenes serve are to address what happens to the victim. They can be extremely frustrating because of what we know in this culture with the Me Too movement. A lot of victims are coming forward with their stories. The sheer number of people who don't believe a victim, and Robin Hobb definitely touches on that in this book. It talks about, there's a cycle of sexual violence in this book where someone who has had that done to them may become the perpetrator of sexual violence and may become the abuser as they have grown older. This book was written in 2000. This was published in 2000. I think it's worth taking a look at and worth persevering through if you can stomach it, if you can handle it, because I think it's more than just a plain old plot device that this is done to a character just because. I think it really serves as something to take a look at what happens to survivors and the hardships that they may go through afterward. It was done in a really beautiful way. I think it's worth a little bit of a discussion and for you to know as a reader of this book. Overall, what do I think of this book? Obviously, I love it. I don't know how to feel. This whole trilogy, this concluded the trilogy in a very complete way. The character arcs and the character development in the conclusion are every bit as satisfying as I wished they would have been, and so much more. So many things happen to these characters. I felt for them on every journey that they went on, and it just, the way it was wrapped up is incredible. This is one of the best conclusions to a trilogy I've ever read. A lot of the times when I get to a conclusion of a series or of a trilogy, they just don't live up to what you want it to be, and this exceeded all my expectations. If you're looking for something that has great character work and really hits hard-hitting topics, it makes you think, and you want to have a discussion about it, this is the trilogy for you. I rated this, I tweeted out I would give this infinity stars if I could, and Robin Hobb liked that tweet, and she even said thank you. It is an incredible book. 5 out of 5 stars on a Goodreads scale, but infinity stars in my mind. Okay, everyone. It's really hard to do a spoiler-free review of a third book. I just don't know. Oh my gosh, if you haven't read any Robin Hobb, I have so many people in my comment section just blowing me up, just saying, oh, I really need to get to Robin Hobb soon. Yes, you do. I came into this series disliking pirate books with a fury. And then Robin Hobb gave me one of the best trilogies I've ever read in my life. And now I don't want pirate books unless they include live ships and dragons and sea serpents. Like, unless your maritime battles include all 3 of those, I don't think you deserve to be called a pirate book. If you have read this book, like I said, I've got several theories that I want to discuss in my spoilery video, so I'm going to go ahead and link that for you. Please join me over there so that way we can talk. Oh my gosh, so much happened, and we need to talk about this. We need to talk. Follow me on social media if you haven't already. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It's at WhatCastRead, the same as this channel. You can also find me on Goodreads. That link will always be down below, and you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.